2024 felt like a year of outperformance, right? The markets outperformed. The election uncertainty was removed, and our underlying businesses performed. And, Morgan Stanley is in the business of raising, managing, and allocating capital. And if you were a capital allocator here during the last 12 months, you've been very busy. If you've been managing capital, given the uncertainty around rates and policy, you've been quite busy. And the next leg of this will be the raising of capital, and that'll be next year.
So the mood is bullish, but is it cautious as well? And how does the incoming Trump administration change the narratives, Ted, in your opinion, for global markets and the macro?
Well, I think it's bullish for good reason. The world is still led by the U.S. consumer, and consumer and corporate balance sheets in the U.S. are in aggregate terrific. And the new administration is talking about growth. And there's some caution because there's policy uncertainty and sort of the dynamic between the U.S. and China and the uncertainty around that bilateral relationship. But I think on the whole, people are understandably continuing to be constructive. Why wouldn't you be generally constructive against a backdrop where the U.S. economy continues to outperform?
Exceptionalism. Uncertainty, though, are you equating that with volatility? And how is it volatility being understated? And how much of a problem, how much of an issue is that going to be? Is going to be the catalyst for a correction in what appears to be perfectly priced markets? We've got the S&P that is trading at historically expensive levels. Can it be sustained? Given the balance of risks?
And I'm also, as I'm answering that, I'm thinking about your last sort of summary there, exceptionalism. I mean, at some level, it isn't exceptionalism in the sense that for all the talk about deglobalization, the reality is that many countries are figuring out how to spur their own domestic economy proper. So the U.S. can work, and allied countries can work along with the U.S. and independently. With respect to pricing, yes, we have high asset levels. Mike Wilson and our crew has the S&P moving up further next year because, especially on an equal weighted basis, you think about the industries like the financials, industrials that actually have been relatively at the S&P long-term median or less. And there's no reason with continued growth and some deregulation, those industries can't perform. So there may be some industry shifting, but in aggregate, especially if interest rates reflect a growing economy, markets should hold up pretty well. Might there be periods where you'd have a drawdown because things have moved as they have? Of course, that's natural. But the overall momentum seems to the right.